measurements taken with regard to where the bicycle was and where the person was laying?
Quite a few.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 303, where we have the bicycle out, and see if you recognize what's here, first of all.
Yes, I do.
And these are some of the measurements taken at the scene, correct?
That is correct.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 303.
No objection.
Admitted, may be published.
Take a look at that, and does that include the bike?
The diagram in front of us does not include the bike.
Let's talk about some of the measurements that we have here. Starting at the lower left upper corner and then coming back to where the area where the bike was found. What is this area here, and where does it lead to?
As you go to the, what would be the west in this picture, that's the hall.
And what is it?
It's 2 feet 9 inches in width.
And in terms of this wall from here to here, like here to here, I mean, from here to here, what is the distance?
That measurement's actually on the right side. It's 13 feet 2.
And this is it right there, correct?
That is correct.
The length from here to the breach of the doorway on the right-hand side, what's the distance there?
15 feet 3 inches.
How was the measurement done? Did somebody have a tape measure out there, or how are these measurements taken?
We use a laser device. The manufacturer happens to be Hilti, and we refer to it as a Hilti.
And you actually took some of these measurements?
Yes, I did.
And the area in the front from where the carpet begins to the breach or the end of it, the breach there of the door leading to the kitchen, is what's the width there?
It's 3 feet 10 inches. The tile continues into the kitchen, but this picture is depicting the living room predominantly. And so, as you said, where the entrance to the kitchen begins west to where the tile ends is 3 foot 10 inches.
And the door, how big is the door?
It's a standard 3.0 or 3 foot 0 inch entry door.
And then from the wall here up to where the tile ends, what's the distance there?
5 feet 9 inches.
Let me show you another exhibit. Exhibit 304, do you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
That is a drawing that I also completed for this investigation.
And does it include the measurements for the bicycle?
Yes, it does.
Move for the admission of Exhibit 304.
No objection.
304 is admitted, may be published.
So, from what it appears, this area here, where the kickstand is, up to this, where on this bar? In the middle of the bar, or where?
Approximately in the middle. We can tell when we're looking at the bicycle that it's not parallel to the ground. It's about in the middle of it, where that 31 inches is coming from.
You do have a measurement here on the back end of 38.5 inches. What does that refer to?
That's up to the top of the seat.
That would be back kick.
That's correct.
And then you also, in front, you have another measurement. What is that?
That's to the top of the stem of the handlebars, 41.5 inches.
After this bicycle was taken in, you did indicate that there were some further testing of that, correct?
I believe that it was processed for some other evidence possibilities.
And then it was wrapped up and brought into court, correct?
Wrapped up very securely.
that, Mr. Martinez, you can leave it. We'll get it later. Don't trip over it. Please don't trip over it.
So let's take a look at exhibits. Through 51. I'll just have you look at it and give it back to me. Take a look at Exhibit 45. What is it that we're looking at here?
Perspective-wise, that's the top edge of the tile entry where it meets the carpet. Obviously, we can see the front wheel of the bicycle. If you go to the right, you're walking into the kitchen, and then we're seeing a placard number.
And you're also seeing this item back here, correct?
That is the placard number.
And what, we can see it's the number 6, but what does it refer to?
It's that cardboard box with the blood spatter on it.
And exhibit number 46, what do we see there?
There's no placard, but we're come around to the front where the box is open and seeing some of the contents.
And some of the contents are globes, that sort of thing, right?
That's correct.
Exhibit number 47, what do we see there?
The photograph is shooting more down on the top surface of that same box. You can still see the globe, but just barely.
We're also beginning to see some of the items up here on the left-hand corner. What are those?
I believe that's a pillow and a doily on top of a little table.
Exhibit number 49.
Again, we're looking more into the interior of the box as it was found.
And we see some items in there, correct?
That's correct.
Exhibit number 48 shows us what?
Inside, particularly the one inside face of the box, there's some more blood spatter inside it.
And exhibit number 50?
Again, where it's a close-up of more of the tops. It's the top of the box. It would be the end if it was sitting down with the open part up.
And exhibit 51?
Just a close-up again of some of that blood spatter.
Number 222.
Yes, sir.
What is it?
This is item number 6 that we've been talking about.
What's the addition of exhibit number 32?
232 is admitted.
Why don't you go ahead and open it and publish it or show it to us? And if you could hold it on top of the standing.
Maybe a little hard to see, but what's up on the screen right now is where my finger's pointing right here, that blood spatter. It's sitting in a position, it's been closed up to make it packageable easier. But it was, and the little short wall would be right here.
All right, thank you. You put that back in there. Exhibit 57. Tell us what we see here.
We've seen it before, but this is again where the tile meets the carpet. To the right, where that Folgers plastic can is into the kitchen. The bicycle. Item number 6 is that box with the blood spatter on it. Just a little bit further north perspective. You can see the chair and the pillow that was also depicted earlier.
And the chair, is this what we're talking about?
That's correct. There's actually 2 chairs, but that's the first one.
And where would the other chair be?
It's back behind it, north.
And then, what is this right here?
That's a pad on one of them.
Exhibit number 52? What do we see?
And we see the pillow, the pad, the chair. And now we're seeing, from further west looking east, a broader perspective of that box, the chair, front tire, the bicycle, and actually the victim's foot's viewable in that photo.
What is this over here in the left-hand corner?
It's a little round table.
Well, why don't we take a look at exhibit number 52?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, just take a look at it. Tell me what you see.
Referring to sort of like a secretarial chair.
Right? Exhibit number 53, what do we see there?
Now we've come around and the picture is from the north down to the floor, a little bit towards the south. And again, the contents of the box from the left side of the frame, the front wheel of the bicycle, and to the right, there's no placards by it, but that white item there is some items of clothing.
This box appears to be turned over, correct?
It's on its end, yes.
And there are some items that appear to have streamed out of it, correct?
That's correct.
Now, in looking through this whole living room area, were there, for example, an couch or anything like that, indicating movement of for example, the box we have here? Any movement like that we see anywhere?
There's very few other items in the living room that gave any evidence of being disturbed, knocked over, moved.
And this appears to be one of the only ones that was actually even touched or disturbed, appear to be disturbed, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
In reviewing this, being out there, how many items can you remember aside from this item number 6? I know that's not the exhibit number, but item number 6 that appeared to you to be disturbed.
Well, I know there was a cup on the floor, but whether it was moved and tipped over, or whether it was put there the way it was, item number 6 is predominantly the only item that I recall as being, obviously the contents being thrown out.
One of the things that we talked about before was exhibit 280. This is the one that does not have any item or placard numbers on it, right?
That is correct.
Where would the box be?
It is well, we can see the chair with the pillow. It's a blacked outline in front of the count out.
All right.
That's the one with the pillow on it.
Okay.
And the brown rectangle
Right here.
is the box.
Now, we talked about the secretarial chair. Where is it here?
It's the smaller, I don't have a round or oval backing or bottom for the chair, but it's the next black item north of the big chair, right there.
And what is this to the west or left as we look at this photograph?
That was a black plastic trash bag.
And, for example, here, the couch, it appeared to have been moved or disturbed in any way.
No.
How about the table chair? Did that appear to be moved or disturbed in any way?
Well, the table is not parallel to the couch, but there was no indication it had been moved across the room or anything of that nature.
Back here, what did we have back here?
Well, other than the TV, to the south of it, there's a lamp, and to the north of it, there were some items stacked up, a computer monitor and some stuff on top of the computer monitor.
They appear to be disturbed?
No, they were not.
How about down here? What is this right here?
I believe that's another chair.
And this is also what?
That's the chair the victim was leaning up against.
Did these appear to be disturbed in any way?
No.
Now, there was this item here. What is that?
That is the lamp right inside the door. The lamp was still on the table. The shade was ajar.
And aside from the box that we talked about, number 6, and the lamp, did there appear to be any other areas or any other items that appear to be disturbed?
Especially not any area. Even around that lamp with the shade, there's a potted plant. It was upright, that little circle.
So, and that was still upright?
It was upright. The bicycle was on top of it, but it was not knocked over.
Exhibit number, 53, do you see this right here?
Yes, I do.
Was that an item of interest to you?
Yes, it was.
Why is that?
That's a fired cartridge casing.
And exhibit number 54, number 7 there, and then we also see the number 6 placard, and then it shows their relationship, right?
That is correct.
And did you seize that cartridge casing?
Yes, we did.
Exhibit number 55 shows us what else?
That's just a little bit closer perspective of item number 7.
And number 56?
So we call a close-up of item number 7.
Okay. Let me show you exhibit number
Yes, sir.
You recognize it?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's the item we have depicted up on the screen right now that was collected for evidence.
How is it packaged? Tell me a little bit about the packaging and what's the purpose of the packaging?
Well, that's the date that that envelope got turned into the property annex at 621 West Washington.
Is that the day that this casing was picked up?
No, it is not.
Well, then why do you have the date of 10/11 when the casing was picked up on October 5th?
Because that October the 11th, again, is the date that the invoice was generated and that that item physically was handed off from the person who had collected it up to this point.
In other words, this is when it was actually put somewhere in storage.
Well, it was somewhere before, but this is where it went into property officially with an invoice. So you can see the invoice number there on the screen too.
All right. And then it has an item number, right?
Item 7 in this case.
And that's what we've been talking about with regard to exhibit number 56, right?
That is correct.
Then it has name and a serial number, right?
That is correct.
Who's Mason? Who are they to this investigation?
Catherine Mason, she's a crime scene specialist assigned to the Phoenix Police.
Let's, I want you to open exhibit 213 so we can take a look at it.
Another item that will be resealed before it goes into jury.
Let me take a look at it, please. 13. Vial, correct?
That's the snap vial I've been referring to.
And it has a number on top, right?
7.
And it has some writing on it, right?
That is correct.
And then inside we have the actual item, right?
That is correct.
And what does it say on the back of the stamp?
That's the head stamp of the cartridge. This Federal 40 and then S&W, which stands for Smith & Wesson.
What does the 40 stand for?
40 is the caliber,
And federal, what does that stand
the
for?
manufacturer of that particular cartridge.
Take a look at exhibits 58 through 62.
Any may be published.
What are we looking at here?
Could you tell us what exhibit that
Oh, I'm
is?
sorry, exhibit 58.
And that's the tile floor on the left of the Folgers scan is the living room. The Folgers container is just barely into the kitchen. And then by the Folgers can, by that corner of that opening, there's an item of evidence that's without a placard yet in that picture.
What is this up here? You need to look at
That's the pillow on that one chair.
And this right here is what?
That's the other pillow that's upright on the same chair, I believe.
And this right here?
That was a duffel bag or something of that nature.
And this is where the bicycle is, correct?
That's correct.
And then here is what?
That is the kitchen into that direction.
Exhibit number 59? What are we looking at here?
A little bit more close-up of that, particularly the Folgers can and the item of evidence next to it.
And what is going on back here? Do you know what is back there?
I believe it's another trash bag of some kind.
And right here is the door, correct?
You can just see the edge of the door.
Did the door open to the point that it interfered with the opening here, or was it such that it would just come to the edge of the door? You see what I'm asking?
Yes, I do. And actually, there's only a little stub wall of about a foot, I think a foot 10 inches or just over a foot from where the hinge of that door would be. So the door actually obstructs that opening of 4 feet when it's in the complete open position.
And that's what's happening here as we take a look at Exhibit 59.
That is correct.
Exhibit number 60?
Now we've got a close-up without a placard of the item I've been referring to.
And exhibit number 61?
A little bit different perspective, but maybe a tad closer to.
And finally, exhibit number 62?
It's item 16. The placard's been laid down now to identify it.
And what is that?
That's one of the blast doors off of a Taser cartridge.
I'm going to show you exhibit number 225, see if you recognize what's there.
Yes, sir.
And you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is item 16 in the packaging containers and material that we've already discussed.
Move for the admission of exhibit 25.
225.
225 is admitted.
Let's go ahead and open it for me, please. The item number on top, right?
Yes, it is.
And this is what it looks like.
That is correct.
You know what that is?
That's the outside face of it. It's part of the Taser logo of the blast door. One half of the hair of the blast doors.
And this is what it looks like back.
That is
It does have the round surface. You see that?
Yes, I do.
In terms of the weight of it, is it something that's extremely heavy? Is it something that is not? Or is it something in the consistency? Is it metal? Is it plastic? Can you tell?
It's gray plastic and it's very light.
Okay. Go ahead and go back here and return it to that goods container. The admission of exhibit 66.
No objection. 63 through 66 are admitted. Any may be published.
Look at 63. This area here, what is that? What does that lead to?
The opening into the kitchen from the living room.
And what is this right here?
That was like a cutout. You can see a countertop That countertop extends into the living room and then back into the kitchen. It was an opening to access the kitchen through the living room.
Was there an item of evidence that you seized or that was seized found around this area here?
Yes, it was.
This is what right here?
That's that pillow?
Is that part of the chair or is that a pillow?
Well, it's a covering or something over the back of that chair.
And then we're looking at this area here. You see that? What is that?
The dark area there is that trash bag I referred to earlier.
And if we take a look at 64, anything disturbed there?
Well, the secretary chair we were talking about had some kind of electronic device on it. It was still sitting in where it appeared to be before. There's a table back in the corner, the northeast corner, with little model cars, and then we can begin to see the left armrest of the sofa, and there's actually an item on it. And no, there did not appear to be anything that had been disturbed per se.
The cars that you're talking about, and those are these three items here?
That's correct.
Are they all on their tires?
Yes.
Over here to the left, do you see this right here?
That's the arm of the sofa I was referring to with the items on it.
And what type of items are those in
I
terms
think
of?
that was a book of some kind, and there's like a mailing envelope underneath it.
And did those appear to be disturbed?
No, they did not.
But you were looking at this at some point at the area right here, correct?
That is correct.
And if you take a look at Exhibit 65, is that a close-up of that area?
That's shooting right down on top of it. Yes.
There's something there, right?
Yes, there is.
What is that?
It's another one of the blast doors from a Taser cartridge.
And Exhibit number 66, what is that?
That's that same item now with placard 17 to identify it.
Let me show you Exhibit number 226. What is it?
This is, in fact, item 17 depicted on the monitor.
And that's the glass door?
Yes, it is.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 226.
226 is admitted.
Why don't you go ahead and open it, please? Now at the exhibit number 16.
Can we shut off our electronics back there? Our sound. Thank you. Mr. Martinez.
Does 16 appear to complete the diagram, or the logo, if you will?
Yes, it does.
The 226 back.
There's one on the monitor.
So far we have,
Well, today we have two.
out there, how many do you have out there?
We have two.
And one was found by the coffee can, and the other one was found by this garbage can, as we've seen, right?
The trash bag, yes.
Take a look at Exhibit 67 through 72.
Would have been one of the three of us,
Was it law enforcement?
law enforcement and or lab.
And the lab, did they work hand in hand with Phoenix Police Department?
That's correct.
And it's the Phoenix Crime.
That's correct.
Move for the admission of exhibit 67 to 72.
67 through 72 are admitted, any may be published.
So 67, we're looking at the same area, but it looks like, for example, some things have been moved, right?
Actually removed.
Down here, 16, right, which is what?
Still the blast door.
And it appears that the chair is gone, the one that had the padding on it, right?
That is correct.
It also appears that the trash bag that had the blast door on it is gone, correct?
That's correct.
But you then have this right here, what is that?
That's that secretary chair.
Is there an item of interest on or around near that chair?
It ended up on the floor, right, sort of underneath that secretarial chair.
And if we look right above it, what is this area here?
That's that cutout to the kitchen and living room I was talking about.
Number 68, what do we see?
A little bit closer up of that same perspective.
And we are looking at this area here too, correct?
That's still the counter cutout.
And this does appear to be like, what is that? Is that a board or what is that? You know, we take a look at 69.
Yeah, there was a little, like about a 1x1.
And there's something right here that was of interest to you.
Yes, there was.
Exhibit number 70 is what?
A little bit closer up, it's another fired cartridge casing.
And then, how is it that, did you find this or did somebody else find this?
When the plastic bag was collected and moved because of the blast door being taken from it, and we were still looking for items of evidence to make sure that it wasn't somehow or another on top of it had been shaken off, we moved the plastic bag, and here we have what we're looking at. It might have come off the top of the plastic bag or the side of the bag being contained by the plastic, but that's where we labeled it at.
The previous one that we saw was the one that was near, or casing that was near the foot. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I did.
Up, and that was,
Item number 7 as far as the scene investigation.
which is exhibit 56. You see that?
Yes, I did.
And then, next number 55. Can you see that chair?
Yes,
And this is where number 7 was, right?
that's correct.
How far was item number 7 from this item here? We're looking at number 70.
Specifically, I could look at a report that I authored and do some subtraction, but I would say about 3 feet further north.
71 is, was this what?
Now that fired cartridge casing we've been talking about, it has a placard number 18 laid down by it.
And 72 is what?
Close-up of it. In perspective to the other photographs where it's now been upside down, but
In other words, it's like, actually like this,
that's correct. The cutout for the placard
right?
generally points north.
You know what this is? Is that an item of evidence, or is that just?
It's an artifact, I believe.
Let me show you another exhibit. Take a look at it.
This is packaged up, item 18.
If I may have it back. I move for the admission of exhibit number 215.
Objection.
215 is admitted.
Go ahead and open it and look at it. What is it?
And we're looking at the head stamp of that cartridge. And again, it was manufactured by Federal, and it is a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson cartridge.
And it's the same as the other item that we've seen, which was your item number 7, correct?
That is correct. The same manufacturer, same caliber.
So far, how many?
2 today.
Mr. Martinez will take a lunch break at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember the admonition, keep an open mind, don't discuss the case. We'll see everybody at 1:30. Jurors are excused. Thanks. Mr. Mearns.
Yeah.
See everybody at 1:25.